I don't think I've ever seen a bait and switch quite like Battlefield 6. I don't think I've ever seen something so dogmatically supported and loved before even a second, an ounce, a millisecond of actual gameplay footage was shown. So much love was thrown towards this game. It was crazy. It was the inverse of what happened to Infinite Warfare back in 2016, where the mere trailer, the mere campaign story trailer, landed it as one of the most disliked things on the planet. Battlefield 6 was the opposite. And when EA and DICE are taking pop shots at the competition in their commercials and making this big, grandstanding sort of statement about the state of shooters and moving forward with some of the best PR I've ever seen, it is shocking how much this game is regressive. How much this game seemingly was not built by anyone that worked on Battlefield 3 or 4. Not made in the same engine even. Clearly made in an entirely different engine by a whole different dev team that's never created a game before? Looking at the patch notes of Season 2, it's microfix after microfix. Whether it's recoil and aiming not being in tune with what the player's input is, movement exploits, tons of bugs. I can't even list them. Go read the patch notes for Season 2 when this video's over, and you'll see what I mean. And then come back and tell me you think that's normal. It is an insane list of bug fixes. Not something you release with a season. The last time I saw a season being dedicated to bug fixes was Rainbow Six Siege Operation Health, when they dedicated an entire free season just to bug fixes and exploit fixes. It was literally called Operation Health, not Season 2. This is not Season 2. This is one new map with 2 variants. You can't even play every game mode on it. Sorry, Rush fans, I hope you didn't want to play on the new map today. They added some new weapons and a launcher and helicopters that were in every modern Battlefield before. This is depressing. This is... I don't know if the internals of this company are just in absolute shambles, or they don't care. I don't know what's worse. The idea that these people are hardworking, talented developers doing their all, and they're just dealing with so much behind the scenes drama and technical issues and staff arrangements, or they just don't care. I don't know what's worse. I think ambivalence while asking you for $70 and then loading in a bunch of derivative microtransactions is probably worse than trying really hard and running into roadblocks. Because we've actually, some of you youngsters might not know this, but we've actually seen DICE run into roadblocks, but through their passion and money and time and investment. We had Battlefield 4. We had Battlefield 4, one of the worst launched games ever, become one of the best shooters. If you ask anybody my age, what are the 10 best multiplayer FPS games, a lot of them will put Battlefield 4 in that list, despite it having a cyberpunk level launch. I didn't think the likes of MW2 or Black Ops Cold War's content droughts would affect the Battlefield community in the same way. Even if the next season is of a normal size, if Season 3 is 3 maps, that's what this should have been. If Season 3 isn't a massive apology season full of remakes and new maps and permanent game modes and new weapons and vehicles, they could bring back their entire, 800,000 active players. They could bring them all back on each platform with a meaningful update. That's what's so heartbreaking here, is that this game sold huge. It launched huge. And we have watched it dip further and further off the play charts. And this is coming from me. If you guys know me, I actually think that people's requirement for constant updates and content is kind of exhausting. I believe in big, meaningful DLC updates. I do not like the, oh, well, we didn't get content for 7 days, so the game is dead type people. That's a whole generation of gamers I can't relate to. Fortnite really, conditioned people into thinking everything should be handled like a free-to-play live service, even if it has AAA quality behind it and 20 maps and 100 guns and a super crazy progression system. Doesn't matter because Fortnite updates itself every 2 weeks. Yeah, I know, I don't care. What I'm saying is that with a player count dwindling, with the PR dwindling, with the cracks under the surface so harshly showing, weapons and mechanics and movement and vehicles and bugs and spawns and UI and HUD and all of these issues coming out and people being more and more aware that this game is not finished, this game was not polished, this game was made by novice developers. or developers on such a time crunch they weren't able to do anything like basic level dev shit. I mean it. Read these patch notes. Look at how long this is. And these are just the bug fixes. These are just updates to literally every aspect and corner of the game. This is a game being repaired in front of you after launch. This is some 2015 shit. Now I can have fun with it with friends, but we have to like call a spade here. This is one of the biggest rug pulls ever. And I don't use that term. This is a game with nothing planned, with nothing improved, with nothing designed, with no feedback taken, with no lessons learned. But I guarantee you, fall 2027 is going to be your year. That battlefield's going to be crazy, and the post-launch is going to be insane. Just you wait and trust me. But you guys got fucked over. And part of me was like, okay, that's fine, you know? Like, I got really tired of people crawling into my stream chat and acting like a human being, but really being a programmed representative of EA, Electronic Arts Company. You know, coming in to tell me that COD sucks and Battlefield rules, and if you play COD, you're a low testosterone virgin. And if you play Battlefield, it's a real man's game, a real adult's game, you know, because the maps are big and there's lots of explosions, and my monkey brain likes that. You know, I'm bitter because they do this all the time. All right. The Battlefield fans do this all the time. So part of me, genuinely, can't lie, didn't mind seeing them get pissed off and seeing their game slowly crack under the surface and the lack of content and the lack of updates and the amount of bugs. Yeah, you know what? Watching Battlefield prioritize a battle royale mode in the same way that Call of Duty prioritized Warzone is kind of poetic, but now it's pissing me off. At first I was like, haha, you guys were insufferable on the internet for a long time, but it's funny. But now I just feel bad. Already the Battlefield gameplay loop is something I've sort of outgrown. Just, you know, when you're a kid, I feel like Battlefield feels very realistic and large scale. But as an adult, I really feel like the randomness and bullshittery and the way people play now just makes like the average public server experience in Battlefield giant, stupid clusterfuck that just feels very, I don't know, AAA in the worst way possible. Whereas like other games, I've always, you know, like Call of Duty, I prefer old COD to new COD, but new COD still feels like old COD more so than, you know, new Battlefield feels like old Battlefield, if I'm honest, you know? So when it came time for me to decide what I'm going to put my time into, I even bought Battlefield 6 at launch and tried to give it a go and tried to give it my time and tried to give it my love. And it just felt like something that was pandering to people that don't play Battlefield. Like, oh yeah, you didn't experience Battlefield 3 and 4? You didn't experience Hardline in 1 and 5? Then perfect, this is for you. This is for that guy who just started playing Battlefield with 2042, felt a little disenfranchised by our disregard of it, and now you can play Battlefield 6 and be sort of disenfranchised by our disregard of this. But don't worry, in 2027, Battlefield will be back, everybody. Battlefield is so back. The one really funny thing is that the coolest thing this season did was get rid of a lot of the unnecessary, rapid, jittery movement mechanics that were in Battlefield 6 at launch that really felt out of place and odd and made gunfights feel really weird. They slowed players down, they kind of nerfed the slide and everything, and you know what? Honestly, good for them. I'm sorry, if movement equals skill expression, then so does positioning, and Battlefield should definitely lean way more towards positioning than it does movement tech. And watching the people that wouldn't be caught dead playing Titanfall or Apex or any sort of arena boomer shooter or movement shooter back in the day, like they wouldn't be caught dead playing a game where their skills would actually be put to the test. They just want to take advantage of movement mechanics in non-movement games. So when people are playing normally the way they think they should play, they can dunk on them. So, you know, these guys wouldn't be caught dead taking advantage of the crazy movement in Black Ops 7 because that's a game for little kids. I actually want to wave dash like fucking Star Fox in Battlefield 6 when all these battle dads playing on big screen TVs with non-pro controllers through their speaker audio, you know, that are trying to have a tactical, realistic experience. I want to slide cancel them and fly around corners at Mach 10. And yeah, no, don't take them seriously. They don't want actual complex mechanics. They don't want Battlefield to be complex or skill-based. They just want to dunk on people that are playing normally. And it's been kind of fun watching them react to the game being sort of toned down so everybody's sort of at the same speed. And you know what? That was kind of nice. That actually was pretty noticeable when I was playing, and that was cool. Other than that, just random bullshit. The new map, I don't have a review for you. The new map is just, other than the trenches, I just don't like it. It's just kind of clusterfucky. Everyone just sort of was wandering around in different corners. Conquest plays like shit in this game. And I think like the most heartbreaking thing I'll end this video on is just that when I was playing it, it felt like it was 6 years old. The game felt like it had been out forever. You know, when you hop into like an older Battlefield or older COD game or older Halo, and you have these people that are just sort of fucking around. They're just kind of wandering. They're just kind of doing whatever. They don't really care. That's what it felt like. Nobody was playing their class hard. Nobody was really trying. Nobody was really sweating or pushing or doing anything. Everyone just kind of felt like they were wandering around. And that's what it feels like when you hop into like Battlefield 3 is you don't have people trying their ass off. You have a lot of people just kind of, I don't know, farting around, doing random shit. That's exactly what Battlefield 6 feels like right now. Is it just nobody is really locked in and doing anything important. I'm not surrounded by medics on objectives. It just feels hollow and kind of dead, and you just kind of wander around, get some kills, die to something that you couldn't really avoid, and move on. It's so flat, and the player base is so demoralized, and I'm sure it's still going to have its fans. I will still play this game with my friends. If my friends want to play it with me, I'm going to play it with them because I can have fun in Battlefield. But my job as a YouTuber isn't to sit here and tell you about the amount of fun I was able to scrounge out of Battlefield when playing with an old buddy of mine. My job is to do this. It's to review, it's to criticize, it's to say, here's the state of things, here's my emotions about it. I said I was going to wrap this up, and I haven't yet. I'll wrap it up with this. Playing in the corpse of Battlefield today was not very fun. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this little rant, and I will see you when I see you. Goodbye.